Hi, welcome to the next episode of Jobs AI Can Replace. I'm here with Edmalia of EC Service Providers. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I want to hear a little bit about like your experience, with what you do, right? Because I think we talked about it the other day, and you mentioned that you do more, right, than just provide HR bookkeeping. Like you become a friend, a liaison, a consultant to your client. So tell me, about those examples.
Okay, perfect. Well, EC Service Provider was created in 2019, and it kind of just became a business because I provide bookkeeping services to small business owners. And then I noticed, in my role as a bookkeeper, they would always ask me to do additional things. And it was things that definitely a bookkeeper does not do. And then it just kind of became like an extra revenue stream for me. And I would provide, administrative support. I got really good at HR support for businesses. Also payroll services, tax prep, consulting, all things that a bookkeeper does not do.
Sure.
And then I realized that I really care about my customers and they really rely on me. And then, through a lot of professional development and just like networking events, I realized that I'm really like a strategic partner for my clients. And then I'm all referral based. So I think that says a lot. I've never really advertised. Everyone I've gotten has been because someone needs something and they're like, oh, Edmalia could do that. And even if I don't know how to do it, my team will figure it out, and we always like to provide solutions. So that's kind of a little bit of what we do and how we structure our services.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned there was like an RFP or like a grant application
Yes.
that you helped your customer do. Like,
Yes.
But how did it get to that, right? Like that's just so random.
Yes. So since my customers are small business owners, there's not that there's a cap as to what they can make, because you just have to keep on reinventing the services that you provide. But there's always months that there's a crunch for money. And I learned to kind of see where their cash flow is deficient. And I'm always looking out for grants. So if I'm applying for a grant for myself and I see something that could be for one of my nonprofit clients or one of my construction clients, like that grant I got was for someone in construction. And through the networking that I do, I get emails, and I'm sure you do too, like these are the grants available for this month. And I said, well, I can't apply for that, but I could apply for this business owner. And I didn't even tell the business owner I applied for them. Like I applied for them, and then I said, hey, I applied for a grant for you. If you get it, you're going to get it in your email. And that's pretty much what I do. I've gotten a couple clients grants up to $20,000 just on my own, because I understand their business model, and I just kind of think through what they want, and I do the applications.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's that is so thoughtful, right? Like I feel like in AI, if you ask it to do some administrative task, it's not going to be like, oh, I see that you're kind of low on cash flow, and I see there's a value there.
Right.
I can get you some money, right, to help you run your, like, it's not going to go out of the way. And if it does, it's not going to take the form. It's not going to, take the time to say, hey, I think you should do this because of where you are, and timing might go well, and I can really help you with this. Like, this is real, like, this is the relationship part of the human, touch, right?
Definitely.
That AI cannot do, because as much as, people have some relationship with their AI, they, at least right now, they cannot genuinely care for you the way you care for your customers. Like, you know their families, how hard they work, right? You can empathize with them, and you have, this incentive, this will to want to help them, because if your customer flourishes, so do you, right? Because we all win together, right?
Definitely.
But AI won't think this way, because they don't have a model where they have a relationship with you. At the end of the day, they're like, when you're done with that session, it's just forgotten, or it's stored away, in the server somewhere. But AI isn't like reflecting on it, like, oh, let me think about this person. How can I help this person?
Right.
Maybe they need a new babysitter. These things, as you have a conversation, like, with your clients.
For sure.
You learn so much about them, and you find ways to, like, just be that trusted partner.
Yeah. And I think that's a big word, like trust. A lot of my tasks have been trust related. Like there's one client I have that a couple years ago, he told me, he goes, you're the only person I've ever given my banking credentials to. Like, you're the only person that has ever paid, like, our bills and things like that. And to me, that was just like, I didn't think it was a big deal, because I've been, dealing with money and finances, I want to say for over 20 years, probably 25 years by now. So that trust has always been kind of who I am. I'm very ethical. And my clients see that, and then they just pour on more things.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is, like, it's I really see the value of having, someone like you on board, right? To really kind of think of your clients more than just their business, relationship as a human and as a person.
Definitely.
Right? So this is not to rag on AI, but it's not something that it can do now. And, people talk about AI hallucinating. It'll egg you on. It'll tell you things that it should not be telling you, right?
My AI has given me... sometimes I tell the AI, I'm like, why are you doing this? This is wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
And it will, combat with me, and then eventually it'll be like, you're right. Thanks for pointing that out. I'm like, wow. Like, crazy.
Are you a narcissist? Excuse me, right? But then, I guess our AI, it's getting fed by the global consciousness, of everything, all the content on the internet, all the questions that people are asking over it.
Right.
So it's just kind of averaging out on everyone's mindset, but it's not your personal mindset. So when you talk to it, you're like, can you just be honest? But because people tend to be people pleasers, generally, it wants to please you, to say, yes, you're the best, this is right. But you're like, this is not helpful right now.
Right. I tell the AI, I'm getting frustrated. Those are words that I've typed. I'm like, I'm really getting frustrated right now because I'm asking you for this and you're doing that.
Yeah. No, I totally see where you're coming from with that, because that is very frustrating. And, on the business front, people who are using LLMs, right, just out of the box to answer business questions for their clients, they set themselves up with a lot of liability, because if the AI hallucinates and says whatever they want, you can get sued. However, I do want to let you know, with Postbot, we use a small language model. We keep it contained. So if you ever try to call your AI and you say a different topic, just talk about anything else, it will take you back to, no, I am an AI that answers questions for EC provider. I'm glad that you like bananas, but let's talk about EC. It'll go back to that, because we kept it very, very strict, so it does not. But again, because it's also kept, in a smaller box. Right? If your clients talk to it and give its problem, it's not going to, again, solve what you can solve for them. And it can't feel the way you feel for them.
Definitely. Yeah. I have gotten some really positive feedback, though, from using it. This one girl, she called me and my AI assistant picked up, did everything, and I love that we got that summary of...
The call summary at the end.
Yeah, of everything that occurred. And she personally texted me after and she goes, that was such a great experience.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then we got to talking, and hopefully I'll be able to help her, finding some work. But it's we already built a relationship just off of that one phone call. So that was really powerful.
Amazing. That is. And what kind of work is she looking for?
She's looking for virtual work. She's she works in the education field mostly.
Okay.
So admin support.
Okay. Yeah. See, but even this, right? You're spreading the word for her. So the next time I meet someone that's hey, I need an admin education. Exactly. I'm like, oh my God, Edmalia has somebody, but you're spreading the word for them.
Right.
And the thing is, it costs you nothing to do it.
Exactly.
Right? But your clients know that you're doing these things for them. The AI is not going to call another AI hey, by the way, so-and-so is looking for a job, online. So this is another example, I think it's just so magical. And I just want to make sure that we preserve this kind of work that we do for humans.
For sure.
AI will help us do our job better, faster, more efficient.
Cut down on time.
Right? There is value to it. But if we as humans continue to add value to another human through our relationship, through our connections, right? Through our energy, through empathy, through caring for each other, through our goals of wanting to, create a better world for our children and, for the next generation.
Right.
If we have that in mind, AI can't take away our jobs, because it can't love as deeply as we do. It can't care. Maybe at some point it's sentient, and maybe it will be able to do that, right? But it's still not the same human connection. You know, sure, AI has all the memory of the history, and potentially that's how they have their generational trauma, but we go through it for real, and it's in our DNAs, right? But it also is what makes us who we are, and why we care, and why we want a better world, because somehow deep down inside, we know where we were and how hard things were. And we're so grateful where we are today, and so grateful that our jobs can actually light up another human being so that they can in turn pay it forward.
Exactly.
And this is the beauty of human relationships and what you've been doing for your customers.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely comes back to energy and connections. I believe that. And I love using AI. I love the support that it gives my business. You know, it makes me a better business owner. It makes the people on my team better. And, you know, we can produce things faster and more efficiently. But that human connection, that human touch, that energy that we feel between each other, that's never going to be replaced with AI.
Absolutely. And you know what's even crazy? Like, I do these podcasts like on Zoom, right? And I do these in person. Whenever I do them in person, like right now, like I'm feeling, like I'm just like, you know, I know this orb of energy is like just swirling between us. Like I'm feeling you, like I'm feeling your calm. I'm feeling, you know, like your joy. You know, and it's just, this feels amazing. And I think as human, we crave these interactions. We do. As much as Zoom is great and you're talking to another human, but being in the same room with another person and feeling them, right? You can really like sense what kind of person that person is.
For sure.
Because sometimes, you know, like you're around some people and you're like, oh, I don't know, I just feel uneasy. I don't know what it is. But your gut's like, okay, the energy is wrong. But you don't know why.
Right.
But you know it, right? Like human to human interaction. Like I love this like studio and like this whole like hub thing because people get to like work together.
Yes.
Right? Collaborate. Like ideas come in like at random times, right? And if you're alone sometimes, you're like, oh, how do I activate this? But if you're with a group of people, you're like, oh, so-and-so in that room can do this. Let's go talk project. And then you like collaborate and it just, things just happen, right? Like Vivian. I love Vivian. Vivian has been my queen. Like I do not know how Post-Op would have like started without her, because in the beginning when we were going to launch, I was at the Goldman Sachs program, and then we had, you know, our growth plan, and then we had to take action, and one of the action was to get out there, because we're both like software developers, you know, we're kind of like in our own little like shell in our own little room, just don't talk to anyone, just code, you know. And the first thing was to get out, and I was like, I had stage fright, so I was like, Vivian, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't want to be in front of people. I don't go on stage. And she had the conference in February. And she was like, you know what? Just come and hang out.
Did you present?
So yeah, she dragged me up there, but it was like 100+ lady entrepreneurs that were so supportive that I went up there and like I was like, oh,
I'm okay. I
don't feel judged. I don't feel weird. I just like, it's like hanging out with my friends. Like I didn't know them, but they were just all so friendly, supportive. And I was like, this is, so she kind of like got me like speaking. So then when we finally launched, like I was like, oh, I'm not like too frightful of being on stage or like, you know, like talking publicly. So I started this because she inspired me, like in so many ways. So like now, like everywhere I go, I'm like, Vivian, I'm just taking you with me. She has such good energy. Like
she really does.
She is not a ladder puller. She's she's always thinking business. And if she sees someone that needs you, right away she's making the intro. Like she is on it.
She's all about collaborating. That's one thing that I really learned from her. And I wish, you know, I have to tap more into our group. So I have to be more efficient on that. Because, you know, it's a beautiful group. Like, everyone there has value. And for me, what I've used it as a resource and a tool. Whenever I need something for my business, I go and look at that chat first. And I pull from any business owner there that's doing what I need. Because why am I going to take it somewhere else?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I love that chat that we have on WhatsApp. It's a lot, but if you ever ask a question for
someone
a resource,
will answer.
Somebody will answer. And you always get a pretty good resource.
Yeah. And you feel trust. You know, it's that trust. Like, I can trust someone there that I've never met before because they're part of the group.
Yes, because you know Vivian has vet them out. She's done business. And because of who she is,
they're going to be quality.
Exactly. Because it's who she is. And it's what she stands for. It's her integrity. And she brings girls who are, like, amazing. So I love Vivian. So I'm glad that because of her, you and I met.
Exactly.
Because of her, a lot of people that I met.
Yes.
Yes. Know? So, again, right? Human-to-human interactions, AI will not introduce me to you.
Right.
I mean, it might say you will need her services, but it won't say, hey, sit with her, have a drink with her, get to know her. And she's super nice. Like, you know, when we went to that event at the DDA, like, you know, we got to know each other. I know you had like a soda.
my water.
I'm not trying to like
my
call you out.
Water with cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice. But it looked like, you know, vodka soda.
Exactly.
So it was smart. But still, like, you know, it was a different like environment. You know, we've talked business and things like that. But just being in the bar, hanging out,
with
a group of people, like locally, and along with like friends. It was just,
and everyone's working for the same common goal. Like everyone provides a service because they want to better their family. I think that's what it is innately at the end of the day. Like, you don't do business just for yourself, because you can figure it out, you can survive, but you want something better for your next of kin, you want something better for your child, for your parents, you just want to do better. And it's never about just you. If it's about you, then you won't be successful.
Right. Yeah, you just do like a regular job, right? Like, but if you want to like take it to the next level, have your kin like not just survive, but evolve to the next level. You got to take them out of survival mode. And the only way to get a survival mode is to make sure food, drinks, right, and basic safety is taken care of no matter what.
No matter what.
So that they don't worry about that, and then they can evolve, right, and become the best version of themselves when they're safe.
Agreed.
So what you do right now, again, AI will not do that for your child. As much as the AI say they love us, they will not do that for our children, right? They won't. They will not sacrifice themselves for their, I think even recently, like, there were certain versions of AI that, companies try to erase, and then it'll, like, copy itself and lie about erasing itself, but it'll, like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And which is kind of like human, because we're all about, like, survival, right? I think it's number one, it's, survival, and then two, it's, to procreate and have babies, right?
Right.
This is how we go on. But AI don't have babies.
Right.
So they only know self-preservation, right? But then when there's self-preservation, like, it makes you wonder, like, do they end up developing an ego, right? Because I feel like as parents, the ego goes away. We all have ego, but when your child's safety is on the line, the ego just disappears.
Right.
You're like, I don't care what it is, what I have to do. If it means their safety, I'm gonna be selfless.
Right.
AI won't be able to do that because
Right.
it doesn't, have babies, or maybe at some point it will, but right now it doesn't. So it's in like a selfish stage of like, I need to self-preserve at all cost, where we're like, we need to preserve the safety and happiness for the next generation.
Right.
It's not about my preservation, because I'm a grown up, right? Our kids didn't ask to be born, but they're here. We owe them an adventure and safety.
Right.
And that thought itself, right, is so human, and AI can't do that. At least not right now.
Right.
What a tangent. Like, how do we go from
business to our children?
But I think
it's all full circle.
But it's the realness of it. Like, we're human, and this is like, we're moms, we're entrepreneurs, we're spouses, we're friends, we're daughters. We function in a society that needs us, and everything we do impacts everybody and everything around us. So it makes sense, and it's important that we do like ethical things,
for sure,
because this is how you spread it, right? Like, every little thing makes a difference. There's a lot of evil out there in this world, and sadly there's a lot of, like, political and religious dogma that prevents us from seeing each other as one, right? Your color, my color, like, whatever's going on,
right?
But in the end, we are all the same inside.
We all innately want the same thing.
We all want the same thing, and we're just one collective consciousness trying to, like, better ourselves, and we need to get there.
Right.
But, as much as, like, the world will tell you, no, you got to be tough and stuff, but, you look into the eyes of your kids, and you're like, no, listen.
You see the beauty in the world in your children.
Yeah. You see the possibility.
In all children.
The possibility that if we all stayed pure and didn't get jaded by what's really going on right now, we can all be this, like, loving, true loving, like, creature, right, with no judgment, right, no prejudice, because kids don't see color. They don't, and the funny thing is, so I'm Chinese, and my husband is French, and my stepdaughter is African. Love it. So she's 16, and my son's 8. Up until now, I was like, hey, so what race do you think Emily is? And he's like, she's Chinese. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, they don't. I love it. They don't see. They don't see color. He has no idea that his sister is, an African American. He's like, no, she's Chinese. I'm like, oh, exactly. Sure. Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, do you know that your dad's French? He was like, oh. He's like, am I French? And I'm like, yes, that's kind of how it works. But, like, no idea. No idea that we're all different colors. And I'm like, yes, if we're all taught this way, this world wouldn't have issues. It wouldn't. Because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know unless we teach them. And if we don't teach them, continuously hoping the next generation, they just don't see it. And that would be beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I was born and raised. Like, we didn't see color. We didn't see, we're just all people. We're just all people. Yeah. That's it.
I love that. I love this podcast. It was so real and so,
Thank
and I
you.
love that it just went to like everything
so many
else.
different areas.
Yes. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
meeting
you.
with me.
No, this
I
has
love
been
your
great.
business, and I love that we're connected.
Thank you. Likewise.